Hi, I'm Chelsea from Binge Breakthrough, and in this video I'm going to talk about 12 ways to feel better when you choose to. So, feeling better. Whenever you're in a funk, we all know what it's like to feel like blah about our life, or about the way we look for the day, or about how we've been eating or behaving or performing for the past, days, weeks, months, or years, right? There's often times when we might just kind of feel in that emotional funk, and we can stay there a long time. And when you're in that sort of space, it means that you sort of create more of that, right? The more you're in that space of, oh, I don't feel good about myself, or I don't feel good about my relationships or my life, the more you stay in that emotional space, the more you just continue to get more of that, right? So, what I'm going to talk about here are 12 ways to get yourself out of that space, to be able to really change your mood or change your emotions and feelings when you choose to. Now, the flip side of that is that often when you're in this mood, at least I know for myself, I often don't feel like changing my mood. I want to be, grumbly about my life because my life sucks or whatever. And it takes something to really want to change. But I do hit points where, I finally am like, okay, I'm bored being this way. There's more to life than this. I'm an intelligent human that knows that. And so then I'm more proactive about changing my state. And the 12 ways that I use starts with number one, learning how to compliment another person, especially a stranger. So if you're out and you're at the coffee shop getting a coffee in the morning, maybe you're walking on the street, maybe you're just going to the post office, whatever you're doing, and you're around strangers on a daily basis, take time to just compliment one stranger. It's especially powerful when it's a stranger because it takes something additional. You don't have to compliment a stranger, so it actually takes extra energy to figure out what you would compliment someone on. And to just be authentic about it, not just to say it because you're making up something nice to say, but to be authentic and compliment them maybe on the way they treated you, or their kindness, or their, wit, or their quick wit, or the way they look, maybe their hair color, or their, a particular shirt that they're wearing, like something specific where you can compliment them. And by helping others to feel good, you naturally start to feel better yourself. That's like the number one ninja move. Um, Number two is to wear something bright or colorful. Like you might wear some jewelry, you might wear a shirt that's particularly a bright color, you might wear some big earrings, you might put on just your favorite pair of shoes. Maybe it's your underwear that's amazing. Like just wearing something that's a bright color or something that's a little more exciting just naturally forces you to kind of feel like you're playing a little bit more with your appearance. You're taking a little extra attention in how you present yourself to the world. And that can be a very powerful way to just change your state just because of what you're wearing. Number three would be to treat yourself. So by treating yourself, it could be food, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, and it's probably better if you don't use food all the time to treat yourself, because then it could create a habit of eating whenever you want to feel better, which isn't necessarily exactly what you might want to do. So to think about how else you treat yourself. Like we all have things like activities that we enjoy doing. Maybe you enjoy just some quiet time and you like to go to a park and sit and read and you just never have time to do that. Or maybe you enjoy socializing and there's like a particular class or a particular event that normally you might not go to because you wouldn't want to take the time for yourself, or you wouldn't want to invest in the money or the time that it would take to go do that, to join other people in this class or course or event. Or maybe it's just taking time to have a pedicure, or maybe just going for a swim in the afternoon, or a 10-minute walk in like your favorite location around flowers and in a park area or something, or maybe it's going for a hike. But in some way, how can you treat yourself? Because you know yourself what it is to feel treated. Maybe it's just having a bubble bath. Maybe it's something with people, maybe it's something by yourself. But whatever it is that you feel like you're being indulgent and treated, do that on a regular basis, like every single day. Treat yourself in some way. Maybe it's 5 extra minutes here. Maybe it's a new facial soap or something that you're buying to give yourself a facial, or something that you just normally wouldn't do. It's important to do this proactively and every day on a regular basis, so you feel in different ways. You feel treated. You feel like you're being indulged, and you feel like you're taking care of yourself. And it's really hard to do that when you don't feel good about yourself. So to do that in the face of not feeling good about yourself can really sort of try to change your brain and change your thoughts. So you start to feel slightly differently as you're doing something that, is caring for yourself in a way that you maybe don't feel congruent with at the time. A fourth way is to dress to impress. And by impress, I don't necessarily mean impressing other people. I mean impressing yourself. This kind of goes back to wearing bright coloring. Like, what can you wear that makes you feel good? It could be underwear. It could be the snazziest bra or set of underwear that you've owned. It might be a really cool pair of shoes. It might be, a special tie. If you're, if you wear ties to work or whatever, there's something probably that you really like in your closet. Maybe it's just a special pair of socks. Who knows? But to dress in a way that you're wearing your favorite thing, so that you feel like you're impressing yourself. And wearing the things that you want to feel good in, that you feel good in, and decorating yourself in those ways and wearing those clothes can help you to feel better just because you're wearing what you love to wear. You feel good in it. Another way is to eat a meal that you feel good about. So the meal might be like a green smoothie. It could be the best cut of like fine steak. Maybe it's like grass-fed steak. Maybe it's a lovely crisp salad with like some fresh avocados and fresh herbs and all that mixed in with it. Maybe it's something that like is a pure and rare exotic fruit, but something that you feel good about eating, something that when you eat, you're going to feel like happy that you ate it afterwards, or you're going to enjoy eating it, and you're going to feel good about yourself afterwards. And to be proactive and conscious about what you're eating, especially during a time when you're feeling bad about yourself, can really help you to have more awareness about what you're putting into your body. And it can also change your mood because you're being aware and you're putting things in your body that make you feel good. The next thing would be to move. So exercise it's like one of the number one ways to release the chemicals in your brain, the endorphins, to lift your mood. That chemical release will lift your mood regardless. You can kind of like force yourself to feel better just by getting some exercise. And by exercise, it doesn't have to be, an hour run. It can be 10 minutes walking, and walking a little extra fast to get your heart rate up. It could be dancing for 10 minutes. It could be going and swimming for half an hour in the afternoon. It could be lifting weights. Whatever it is to move your body that you feel good with. Maybe it's gardening, right? But ways that you can move your body such that you get your heart rate going a little bit and you feel like you stretch your muscles, all of that helps to release the chemical endorphins, which can definitely shift your mood. The next thing would be to call or visit a friend spontaneously, even better. Maybe it's your mom. Maybe you haven't talked to your mom for months. Maybe you have a childhood friend that you haven't talked to for years. Or perhaps it's just a sister or a cousin or a friend that's, you talk to every few weeks or months or years and you just haven't called them for a while. Why not take 15 minutes on an afternoon and give them a call or stop by if you can, if you're in the area. Or make a trip, like plan a trip on a weekend to go out and visit the friend. Just because. No other reason than you just want to have some time to visit. And that can definitely shift your mood because you're with someone else. You're getting their energy combined with your energy. It changes your mindset. It gets your mind off of your own state. And it can really help to force you to become in a better mood. Just the planning of the event itself can help you to get in a better mood. Next would be to play around with animals. So play or be around with animals. So animals, they're very interesting and intuitive creatures that we can learn from because they don't have drama, right? They don't get stressed out about their work or their relationships or their finances. They just live to eat, to procreate, and to be in the moment. And so by being around animals, whether it's your happy puppy that is excited to see you when you come home, or whether it's the cat that curls up in your lap, or whether it's just being out in nature with birds and squirrels in the park, like just being around nature sort of reminds us of the bigger picture, right? And that can help to just kind of calm you and help you to get perspective on your problem or your issues or whatever it is that you're feeling like you're stuck with. The next thing would be to go out into nature. This goes along with being with animals. Going out in nature gives you that space where you can just breathe, and you can breathe in fresh air, and you can be around natural elements, and it sort of helps you to zoom out and really see like, okay, what's this about? What am I doing? Why am I stuck? And you can look at things from a new perspective when you're out in a space where you're not being constantly fed media or updates or social media things or text messages. When you can just get away to chill and get some perspective, that can certainly help. And being in nature kind of brings you back to that grounded space within yourself. The next would be to make something. So you can be creative. You can be creative just like you were when you were a kid. Like probably as a kid, you made things like with blocks or with dolls. You played with dolls or trucks or whatever. Or you maybe just found sticks or something. I grew up in the country and we just made stuff out of like sticks and rocks. But I was always making stuff and I was creating stuff as a kid, especially because I was an only child growing up. So I just made up like my playthings all the time. And I was always in this creative space. And so being in a creative space, put your mind in like a present and future sort of state, right? Because you're focusing on what you're doing in the moment, and you're thinking about the vision of what you want to create, and you're just kind of letting it flow, right? And being in that space really takes you away from the space of feeling blah or depressed about your life or your body or your relationship or your finances or whatever it is that has you feeling blah. So just being in a space where you're creating and you're making something, maybe it's jewelry, maybe you're making like a treehouse for your nephew, or maybe you're just using the sketch or drawing apps that come for free on the iPad, and you're just sketching and drawing for like 15 minutes where you're just free-flowing creating. That puts you in a whole different space, and energetically you sort of feel more receptive, you're more intuitive, you're just kind of in the flow, or maybe it's even with music, maybe you're creating music, but somehow you're just in that creative space, and that can really help to lift your mood as well, or it can relieve any stress that you might be feeling. And then finally, you want to, actually, I think I'm on number 11. So one thing another one, take a nap. That's it. I was trying to think of what it was. Maybe I need a nap. Taking a nap can totally change your state, right? If you're overwhelmed, you're stressed, or you're just feeling just blah for no particular reason, by taking a 10 to 15 minute nap, it's like you set your brain into this recharge mode. Just closing your eyes and breathing deeply 5, 6, 7 times. Just listening to your breath and focusing on your breath has you to just calm down and focus. And closing your eyes for 10 to 15 minutes might be all you need to then wake up and feel like your state, your energy, your emotions have changed. If you don't have a lot of time, just setting a timer for 15 minutes. I do this sometimes when I'm driving. If I feel like I'm starting to get, either I'm just kind of in a flunky mood or I'm a little bit sleepy and just not really present, then I'll pull over for 10 minutes, set my timer on my phone, and just close my eyes. And when I wake up, I'm like, I'm recharged, I'm ready to go, and I can hit the ground running again, right? So just taking a nap. And then finally, being grateful. Looking for things, and especially whenever you're feeling kind of blah, it's hard to be grateful sometimes for what you have. But like, you can always find someone in the world that has it way worse than you do, and you're always going to find someone that has way better than you, right? That's always going to be true. And by looking for the places where you can be grateful, maybe you're grateful because your hair is red. Maybe you're grateful because you have a safe house. Maybe you're grateful for your cat. Maybe you're grateful for your relationship with your family or your friendships, or just the fact that you have work and you have a job to go to. Like, there's probably multiple things you can think of that you're actually grateful for in your life. Like, it could be a lot worse than what it is right now, right? And while it kind of seems like you're faking it till you make it, just looking for the areas where you're grateful and where, it could be worse in your life, and starting to focus on, the different ways you can look at your life and how you can be grateful for what you do have, can set you in a whole new space where you're like, you know what, it's not that bad, and actually I'm kind of grateful for whatever situation I'm in because I've learned A, B, and C, or I can now go forward with a new skill set because I've been through this, or whatever. And so there's lots of ways you can look for, things to learn from and how to be grateful for the situation you're in. And so these are some of the 12 things that I use on a regular basis to be able to help me to just change my mood in the moment so that I'm in control of my emotions. Because when I'm in control of my emotions, then I can create my life, right? If I'm at the effect of my emotions, then my life is created out of this space of like negative emotion and bad emotions. And so all my experience is just negative and bad, and I keep creating more and more negativity and just, badness in my life. But whenever I can control my emotions and get myself to a higher space where I'm feeling good, positive, grateful, then my life starts to feel different. I start to experience things differently. I see things I wouldn't have seen, and it truly transforms my whole experience. So I hope some of these tips helped. If you have tips, I'd love to hear them. Just leave a comment below. And if you're interested specifically in how you feel about yourself in relationship to food and eating, I have a website called Binge Eating Breakthrough where you can sign up to get free tips. I have a free video course, and it's really about helping your mind to get in the right set for feeling free around food specifically. So I appreciate you watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you again.